A 68-year-old man in Texas sat down at his kitchen table on a Wednesday morning the same way he had done every month for the past 6 years. He opened his banking app, looked at his balance, and waited. The deposit that was supposed to be there was not. He had not changed anything. He had not missed any letters. He had not done anything differently from the month before. He simply did not know that Social Security had quietly updated 3 direct deposit rules in 2026, and that one of those updates had created a gap between his old enrollment information and the account his payment was trying to reach. By the time he figured out what happened, 4 days had passed. His electric bill had already been returned unpaid, and the SSA recovery process had not even started yet. What happened to him is happening to seniors across this country right now. Not because they did anything wrong, but because 3 specific rule changes went into effect without any direct notification to the people most affected by them. My name is Mason Parker. I have spent years tracking the policy changes, rule updates, and regulatory shifts that affect senior finances, specifically the ones that never make it into mainstream coverage in a way that is actually useful to the people living inside them. What I am covering today is time-sensitive and specific. 3 direct deposit rule changes that are active right now in 2026, all of them affecting Social Security and SSI payments, and all of them creating situations where seniors with perfectly valid enrollments are finding their payments delayed, misdirected, or flagged without warning. Before we get into all 3 changes, subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell. Next week, I am covering a Social Security payment rule that affects anyone who receives both SSI and regular Social Security benefits, and the update creates a specific window where your payment date may shift by up to 3 days without any notification from the SSA. Subscribe now so that video reaches you before that window opens. Here is the context you need before we get into the 3 specific changes, because understanding what changed requires understanding what was already in place and why. Social Security Direct Deposit has operated under the same basic framework for decades. You provide the SSA with your bank routing number and account number. The SSA sends your payment to that account on your scheduled payment date every single month. Simple, predictable, reliable. That framework worked well for a long time. But starting in 2025 and accelerating significantly in 2026, 3 things happened simultaneously that changed how that framework operates in ways that most seniors were never directly informed about. The federal government completed a large-scale transition away from paper checks toward fully electronic payments. The SSA updated its internal verification protocols for direct deposit enrollment information, and the fraud targeting Social Security Direct Deposit reached a scale and sophistication that forced the SSA to implement new monitoring triggers that did not previously exist. Those 3 things happening at the same time created a new set of rules, 3 of them specifically, that are now actively affecting how, when, and whether your Social Security payment reaches your account each month. If you enrolled in direct deposit years ago and have not reviewed your enrollment since, there is a meaningful chance that at least one of these 3 changes is relevant to your current situation right now. The first rule change involves what the SSA now calls an enrollment currency verification, and it is the one that caught the man in Texas completely off guard. Under the previous system, once your direct deposit information was on file with the SSA, it stayed on file indefinitely. Payments went out to the account on record month after month, year after year, without the SSA actively checking whether that account was still open, still active, or still associated with the routing number in their system. That worked fine as long as nothing changed on the banking side. But banks merge. Accounts get consolidated. Routing numbers get updated when financial institutions are acquired. And in the years between 2022 and 2026, a significant number of major bank mergers and acquisitions resulted in routing number changes that were never automatically communicated to the SSA by the banks involved. The SSA was sending payments to routing numbers that no longer existed at the institutions they were originally associated with. Some of those payments made it through because the acquiring bank honored the old routing number during a transition period. Others did not. And the seniors whose payments failed had no idea anything had changed because nothing had changed on their end. They had the same bank, they had the same account. They simply did not know their routing number had been updated as part of a merger they may not even have been aware of. The new enrollment currency verification rule requires the SSA to flag and review any direct deposit enrollment that has not been actively confirmed within a specific time window. If your enrollment falls outside that window, your next payment may be held pending re-verification. The SSA will attempt to notify you by mail, but the letter goes to the address on file, which creates a second problem if your mailing address has also changed since you originally enrolled. The fix is straightforward and takes about 5 minutes. Log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and navigate to the payment settings. Confirm that the routing number and account number currently on file match your active current account exactly. Not the account you had 3 years ago. Not the account number from a bank that was acquired by a different institution. The account that is open, active, and currently receiving other deposits right now. If you do not have a My Social Security online account, call 1-800-772-1213 and ask the representative to read back the routing number and the last 4 digits of the account number currently on file. Compare those numbers to what is on your current bank card or statement. If anything does not match, update it during that same call. That single verification step is the difference between a payment that arrives on schedule and a payment that gets held for re-verification, with no warning on your scheduled deposit date. The second rule change is the one with the most immediate financial risk, and it has nothing to do with your bank information or your enrollment record. It involves a new fraud detection trigger that the SSA implemented in response to a documented increase in direct deposit redirect scams targeting seniors specifically in 2026. Here is how the fraud works and why the SSA's response to it created a new rule that affects legitimate seniors. Criminals have been calling seniors and impersonating SSA representatives, Treasury Department officials, and federal payment processing offices. They tell the senior that their direct deposit enrollment needs to be reconfirmed due to the federal payment system transition. They sound official. They sometimes already have the senior's name, partial account information, and Social Security number obtained from data breaches or purchased from criminal networks. They ask for the full routing number, the full account number, or a one-time verification code that was sent to the senior's phone. The moment any of that information is provided, the caller redirects the next benefit payment to an account they control. The SSA response to this was to implement a new monitoring trigger that flags any direct deposit change request that comes in through channels or with information patterns that match known fraud sequences. That is a reasonable and necessary response. But the trigger also flags some legitimate change requests, specifically ones where a senior calls to update their information and the new account details are significantly different from what is currently on file, or where the change request comes in close proximity to the scheduled payment date. If your legitimate update gets flagged by this trigger, your payment may be delayed while the SSA manually reviews the change request to confirm it came from you and not from someone impersonating you. The way to protect yourself from both the fraud and the delay is the same single step. Create or log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. When you have an active account, the SSA sends you an alert anytime someone attempts to change your address or your direct deposit information on your record. If a criminal who has your personal information attempts to redirect your payment, you receive a notification immediately, not days later when your deposit fails to arrive, but immediately, while there is still time to contact the SSA and stop the redirect before it processes. If you do not have a My Social Security account, a criminal who obtains your personal information can potentially create one in your name and use it to redirect your benefits before you ever know anything happened. Creating the account yourself closes that door permanently. A criminal cannot create an account for you if you already have one. The setup takes approximately 15 minutes. You need your Social Security number, an email address, and a phone number for two-step verification. Once it is active, it works quietly in the background and contacts you only when something on your record changes in a way you need to know about. Before we get to the third rule change, subscribe right now if you have not already. Every week on this channel, we go through the specific SSA updates, bank policy changes, and IRS rules that affect senior finances. The ones written for compliance officers, not for the people actually living inside them. The seniors who watch regularly find out about these changes before they affect their accounts. The ones who find this channel after the fact find out when something has already gone wrong. Subscribe now and turn on the bell. The third rule change involves payment scheduling, and it is the one that creates the widest window for confusion and fraud during a specific period every single month. Under the old paper check system, your payment arrived on the same calendar date every month without variation. That predictability was so reliable that most seniors stopped actively tracking the date at all. They simply knew when it was coming, and it came. Under the fully electronic system that is now in place, the payment schedule still follows a consistent pattern, but the pattern is based on a combination of your benefit type and your date of birth, not a single fixed calendar date. And the seniors who do not know exactly when to expect their payment under the new schedule are the ones sitting in what I call the confusion window. The confusion window is the period between when a payment is expected and when it has not yet arrived. And it is the highest value moment in the fraud calendar right now. Scammers know the Social Security payment schedule in detail. They time their calls to land precisely in that window, when a senior is already anxious about a payment that has not shown up. And they position themselves as the solution to a problem the senior is already feeling. The anxiety is already there. The caller does not need to manufacture much. They simply need to arrive at the right moment with the right offer. Here's the complete payment schedule so that window closes for you right now. If you receive SSI, your payment arrives on the first of every month. If the first falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, your payment arrives the Friday before, not the Monday after. If you filed for Social Security before May of 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI, your Social Security payment arrives on the 3rd of every month with the same weekend and holiday adjustment. If your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your Social Security payment arrives on the 2nd Wednesday of each month. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, your payment arrives on the 3rd Wednesday. If your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st, your payment arrives on the 4th Wednesday of each month. Write your specific date down right now. Set a recurring reminder in your phone or on a paper calendar. Know the date before it arrives, not after it passes. That knowledge alone removes a significant portion of the vulnerability that this third rule change creates. Here is the protocol for what to do if your expected payment date arrives and nothing has posted to your account. Wait 3 full business days before taking any action. Most delays in the electronic payment system resolve within that 3 business day window without any intervention at all. The payment is in the system. It simply has not posted yet. Acting inside that 3 business day window, making calls, accepting callbacks from unknown numbers, providing information to anyone who reaches out to offer help is exactly when and how the fraud finds you. After 3 full business days, follow this exact sequence. Call your bank directly using the number on the back of your debit card. Ask whether a payment is pending or whether there was a posting delay on their end. If your bank confirms nothing was received, call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213, using the number you find yourself at ssa.gov, not a number from a search result and not a number an inbound caller ever gave you. If you received any suspicious calls or contacts during the period your payment was missing, report them to the SSA fraud hotline at 1-800-269-0271 and to the FTC at ftc.gov before you do anything else. Here is the complete action list, everything you need to do before you close this video. Log in to your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and confirm the routing number and account number currently on file match your active current account exactly. If anything does not match, update it today. If you do not have a My Social Security account, create one at ssa.gov/myaccount. It takes 15 minutes, requires no ongoing maintenance, and immediately alerts you if anyone attempts to change your address or direct deposit information. Write down your specific payment date based on the schedule in Rule Change 3. Set a monthly calendar reminder. Know the date before it arrives. Memorize the 3 business day rule. If your payment has not arrived on your expected date, wait 3 full business days before taking any action. Acting inside that window is when the fraud finds you. Tell one trusted family member or close friend your payment date, your bank, and the 3 business day rule. Agree that neither of you will respond to any inbound call about your Social Security payment without checking with each other first. Scammers depend on isolation and manufactured urgency. One trusted person with one shared understanding removes most of that advantage before the scammer ever gets the chance to use it. 3 rule changes. 15 minutes to verify your enrollment. 15 minutes to create your online account if you do not have one. 1 date written on a calendar. 1 conversation with a trusted person. That is the entire checklist. Everything on it is free. Everything on it is available to you today. and everything on it closes a door that is currently open on your account right now in 2026. Subscribe to Mason Parker USA and turn on the notification bell. Share this video with one person you know who receives Social Security or SSI. One conversation this video starts could save them weeks of confusion and keep their payment exactly where it belongs. I will see you in the next one.